Alrighty guys, and welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I'm reviewing Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 3 Episode 11, Point of No Return, which was directed by Nate Villanueva and written by Amanda Rose Muniz and was released on April 3rd, 2024, which I thought was another good episode. I thought it had some great tension to it and continued the story in a interesting way. So I'm just going to dive right into the episode, which it starts at this moon base, which I don't think they gave a name for this moon base, but you see Fee land her ship there to get refueled, and wow, this droid is refueling her ship. We see her bickering with her droid Mel as they head inside to this one area, but during that we see that CX2 has followed Fee there and goes into her ship and steals the data from her navigation computer, and he starts to leave when Fee and Mel start heading back to the ship, and Fee senses that something's wrong, but before she can investigate, the droid distracts her, asking for her payment, and so, she has to pay the droid, which allows CX2 to get away before Fee finds him, and so Fee, realizing that there's nothing there, she leaves in her ship, while CX2 looks through the data and finds the location of Pabu, and he then contacts Scorch, telling him that he found a possible location and that he's heading there to investigate. And so we then see on Pabu, as the Bad Batch is getting ready to depart the planet, as we see Wrecker loading up all their gear onto the Marauder, and Hunter and Crosshair getting more supplies and whatnot. Wow, we see Omega with Liana Hazard inside the Archeum, where Omega decides to leave Tech's goggles and her Tuca doll, so part of the Bad Batch can stay on Pabu, which I thought was a nice moment. But we then see CX2 arrive at Pabu, and he starts scouting the area, which during this we see Hunter kind of sense something uneasy, but he isn't sure what it is, so he tells Omega that it's time to go. And so we see them say their farewells to the Hazard family, and they start heading out, but CX2 has located them and reports back to the Empire and Scorch, and so Scorch orders him to make sure Omega doesn't escape, and so CX2 then goes and shoots some detonators at the Marauder, while we see Wrecker is continuing to load up all their stuff, which he then notices the detonators and then dives into the water as the ship explodes, which obviously alerts everyone. And so the Bad Batch get down to the ship and rescue Wrecker, who's currently knocked out, which we see Hunter tell the clone cadets Mox, Stack, and Deke to get Wrecker to Shep's home and find AZ to help him out. But afterwards, Crosshair says, ships just don't explode like that, so they've been compromised, as they then look up and see that an Imperial Venator Star Destroyer is orbiting above the island, sending down several gunships full of troopers and whatnot. And so the Bad Batch moves out, but we then see CX2 ordering all the troopers to destroy any means of escape and to search everywhere for Omega. But we then see Omega, Hunter, and Crosshair again, reacting to all of it as Omega blames herself for everything what's happening, while Hunter comforts her, telling her that it's the Empire's fault and that she did nothing wrong. But they then come up with a plan as the comms are being jammed and they can't contact Echo, so Crosshair suggests stealing one of the gunships to contact Echo, and so Hunter says he'll deal with it himself, while Crosshair gets Omega to Shep's house to check on Wrecker, which we see them do that as they get there and find that AZ is there and says Wrecker is stable but unconscious. But we then see Hunter get his way to a gunship, and he, fights all the troopers there. But before he can get to the pilot notices him and reports him while trying to kind of fly the ship hazardly and knock him out. But CX2 catches wind of this and decides to snipe and kill the pilot, which makes the gunship crash into the ocean as Omega and Crosshair watch. And so Omega realizes that there's only one thing for her to do, which is turn herself in, which Crosshair doesn't like the idea, but Omega says if she turns herself in and keeps her comm device on her, they can track the location of it, which will also give them the location of Tantus, which Crosshair says it won't work as they'll take the comm device, which Omega then says to shoot another tracker onto the ship as they take her away, which Crosshair doesn't like the idea, but chooses to trust Omega and go along with the plan. And so Omega turns herself in to CX2, who tells the others to stay alert as Crosshair is still at large, but he cuffs Omega and scans her and finds the comm device, which she then hands over. And so CX2 takes Omega to his ship while we see Crosshair sneaking around, but he ends up getting caught right as he's about to shoot the tracker onto the ship, and so he has to quickly take out the troopers, which he does, but he then has to quickly shoot the tracker at the ship, and he ends up missing, allowing CX2 to get away with Omega, which right before this moment, there's also a scene of a Hunter getting to shore and a Batcher finding him, but the episode ends with Omega in CX2's ship, taking a deep breath as he jumps to hyperspace, which, like I said, I thought it was a good episode. I enjoyed the tension just throughout the entirety of the episode, but I also liked Omega's decision to turn herself in, and I also like how it fails in the end, and so I'm excited to see where all of that will go next. But for now, my grade for this episode is going to be an A-, so yeah. But next I'll review episode 12, Juggernaut, so check out my review for that then. But in the meantime, check out my reviews on the first 10 episodes of Season 3 and all my other Bad Batch videos and everything else I do. But I've been Star Wars Review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.